Okay, I think this is working.
Right.
We're gonna do. We weren't gonna do another video today because you know I've got to go home and all the rest of it. Caelan's got his family to deal with and all this other shit. But things happened last night
Horrible, horrible things.
that we felt we should talk about. Now, what happened was. Just give me a second.
Dragon Ball Z.
I was watching clips of that this morning. Oops, get rid of that.
Come on, I can't hold this forever, Will. Release. Release. Release.
I can't find the video. Play for a bit while I find it.
Oh, you should have just released.
It's awfully quiet. What is it? The bloody fair. Fair Work Commission.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Penalty rates cut. Fair Work Commission decision handed down. Whatever. The Fair Work Commission has decided to cut Sunday penalty rates for retail workers. Anyone working in retail, fast food and hospitality will have their Sunday penalty rates reduced.
Reduced. So not removed. Still reduced. Yeah, this, well, it's a slightly sore point for me because I used to work in retail for a supermarket, which I'm not going to name. And yeah, I mean, so many of the people that work there rely on that stuff, you know. They rely on that little bit of extra pay. It's so annoying.
Sunday penalty rates will be reduced and public holiday rates will be cut.
Cut completely.
That's what it says. I mean, it's only just been handed down last night, so it may not get passed. I know the Labour Party and the Greens aren't fond of it, so they may decide to get rid of it. But then again, they might not. And we were just talking, because I read a couple of articles saying that this may be the Liberal Party's work choices that they had in the last election that caused them to lose that election, along with Kevin Rudd's impressive media campaign. But at the same time, that's a couple of years away, and Australian voters, Australian public really do brains like goldfishes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're doing this now, and by the time the next election comes around, everyone will have forgotten.
They always do. Somehow.
Yes, you do. And
Yeah.
what were the things? Because we were having a chat about this, and what were the things we were talking about? Apart from it just being, well, that, and they haven't. We're facing in Australia, and I don't know about the rest of the world, but one of the lowest wage increases in modern history, where the wage is just sort of stagnated, and people aren't making as much money.
How do you go up?
No, because I want to get that.
How do you go up? Oh, yeah. How do you go up?
They're gone now.
Anyway. It's not about the game, Will. It's about the topic. Hurry up.
Oh yeah, and the other things we were talking, like you know what you mentioned before about how it just giving the lower people, which is you know what these people are, the lower wage, the lower income earners, more money helps the economy more. Because I was watching like a podcast or an interview or a documentary or whatever it was called the other day of this millionaire that was like a pillow manufacturer.
Yeah.
And he pays his workers proper income because it just makes good business sense. Because because rich people, when they have lots of money, they tend to hoard it, and you know they might buy 1 or 2 pillows occasionally. But if you hand money over to the lower income workers, then they tend to buy more pillows, and you know there's lots more lower income earners. Thus they buy more pillows, making him more money.
Yeah.
It's just smart business sense.
Yeah, exactly right.
And he can expand the business, and it's just stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just gets so frustrating when and it's made by politicians that have got this massive pay bracket.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that was another thing we were talking about, like a Chaser article that I saw the other day, last night, of commissioner earning $10,000 a week thinks retail workers have it too good, which I thought was amusing. He's down there, he's behind me. Yeah, I did the same thing yesterday.
Yeah. So the politicians with the massive.
It makes more sense to pay the lower income earners more money because they buy more stuff.
Yeah, which is ultimately taxed. We've got GST in this country, and just about everything is taxed.
Yeah, and you know, all of these companies, like that's what. But no, the big companies just want to hoard all the money, and they want to keep all the money, and they don't care if other people have it. You know, like, it's just stupid thinking. You want lower income earners to, because that's what, believe it or not, that's what most people are, all the middle income earners, not the 1%. You don't want them hoarding all the wealth because they're not going to buy stuff. Eventually, it's just going to get to a point where it's just going to stagnate, and you know, something terrible is just going to happen.
Yeah, and even if through sheer numbers, it's the lower income demographic that actually spends the most money.
Yeah, and so if you increase their wage, they will spend more.
Yeah, that's right.
That's pretty much when Rudd got us out of the recession, okay, because he gave us a bunch of checks and people spent money. A lot of people decided to save it because that's you know it was in a recession.
Yeah,
but most people spent it. You know, bought new TVs and that. That's what he told us, to spend it, and most people did.
Yep.
And that's what got us out of it, because most people were spending money. That's what you want. You want people spending money buying products.
That's what keeps an economy going.
Not keeping it in the bank just to say, well, look how big my bank account is, in a massive dick-waving competition among the elite.
And when you're a millionaire, like billionaire even, what does another $1 million get you? You know what I mean? It does. Why shouldn't that $1 million just
invest
be in the hands
something
of somebody that actually needs it, or invested in something that can, you know, make people's lives better?
There was someone else that there's someone else I was like reading about that said the same thing. You know, why should I? Well, it was something to do with like, you know, capitalist society or whatever. And he was saying that you should tax billionaires and whatnot, like the maximum amount, but you know, do something where the certain amount of, you know, they can offshoot it, how much tax they pay if they, you know, buy more assets and stuff. So that way it incentivizes these millionaires and billionaires, you know, to spend and create more businesses, thus creating more jobs, thus creating more spending from the lower economic people.
Yeah.
Because they have more assets, they don't have more money.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And it kind of, And with the line of thinking with our government where they've sort of reduced so much science funding and stuff like that, and they said, oh no, well, it's all right, the private sector will pick that up. But unless, like you said, you've got businesses and individuals performing in this way where they have the ability to undertake ventures like that, or have the incentive to undertake ventures like that, then it's just not going to happen. You know,
And our current government has this thing where, you know, what was the phrase I heard it, or I invented it, one of the two, I can't remember which one, was, you get some people, thinking of the, you know, the debt crisis, which the Liberal Party made up, we're perfectly fucking fine.
Yeah.
Was thinking of someone managing a house, the economy of the country as a house, and the debt and the budget as, you know, your bank balance. Having what's the word that they always throw around? Not revenue, surplus.
Yeah.
Having a surplus is, you know, where they have lots of money in the bank for, you know, special occasions. The way they, you know, the other governments tend to do, like the Labour government tends to do, is it is someone who likes to buy a lot of stuff, and they, you know, you've got a house full of stuff. You can live off everything that you have, but you don't have much money in the bank or any money in the bank. But, you know, you've got plenty of stuff. You can sell something off if you need to, but you don't have any money in the bank.
That's kind of me.
Yeah, and, you know, occasionally if you have to have a loan, then you have to have a loan to get, you know, keep the country going. The Liberal government seems to operate on, it's okay if we have a house that's full of nothing, as long as we have a certain amount of money in the bank.
Yeah.
And that is just full-on retarded. As long as they have, you know, it's the kind of people that would have a house full of nothing, but, you know, $1 million in the bank, as opposed to someone who has a house full of everything,
Yeah.
but no money in the bank.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Where you would find a happy medium between the two.
Oh,
If
yeah.
I had to choose one, I would choose the house full of stuff and nothing in the bank.
Yeah. Stuff being education and healthcare.
Yeah, you know, well, that's why stuff is, in this terms, you know, health, education, military, stuff we're using is
Yeah.
more to the point there.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
think
right.
of your blender and your toilet as bloody education and plumbing and all the rest of it.
And not to mention that with the Liberal government, with money saved away, that money doesn't stay saved away.
No,
it
they
gets flitted away into their own little
Greedy
palms and their own little agendas. It never actually goes back
tax
to the
breaks for
public.
corporations,
Yeah.
which they don't need.
No, they really don't. And
People
banks-
always talking about how all the people in the big business must be good business people and whatnot, but they're always getting tax breaks and all the rest of it from their government friends. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean they're good business people. It means they're getting handouts.
Case in point with Trump, he's lost his fortune like 3 times.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I
just
remember
got bailed out and brought back to the top by his daddy and his big buddies.
that. He is.
But anyway, that's America.
That's a different
That's not
story,
here.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I do know what you mean with that.
But it was just a popular point there. You know, someone that we can all relate to.
Yeah, Trump's not a good. He's just
Yeah.
not. Yeah, but that's a story for another day. Because
Yeah.
if we start
So,
talking about that, we'll
But yes,
stay on
the
for
penalty rates is just it's a pretty sore point, and we were worried as well as that it's
Because I
it's
rely on my
precedent.
penalty rates as an assistant nurse because I work on the weekends. And sometimes I regret working on the weekends because I don't get to hang out with family and friends because, you know, people don't... Despite what people say about us being, you know, a 7-day-a-week society and all the rest of it, we don't function. But, you know, government work on the weekends.
Yeah.
Most of these places stop for the weekends. Most businesses stop for the weekends. And that's where people hang out. And if you work on the weekends, you don't get that social time. And sometimes I regret that. But I get paid extra to make up for that.
Yeah. It's compensation pay.
Yes.
Oh, son.
Oh, there's
But yeah.
any
yeah,
more of this rant?
It's yeah. Well, I suppose yeah. Like we were saying, it's that dangerous precedent that this at the moment is only retail, but
Yeah, it's what they say about the guns, which they can't take because they use your bloody political power. You can never take the guns away from Americans. But it is a slippery slope with the penalty rates, because once you take away one, then you can go, oh, well, it worked here, why do we have to pay these people?
Yeah.
And all the rest.
When you start taking penalty rates away from, like, the health sector, oh, man, that is going to be a shitstorm.
Like, I don't want to talk about my workplace, because it irritates me already.
Yeah, but I mean, even just in hospitals, I mean...
Yeah, people won't want to come into work.
Yeah.
Why? Because, you know, without any incentive, why? They can spend time with their family, and, you know, who would blame them?
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, yeah, if you're not getting the extra money, then, yeah, why why do it, you know? It's kind of...
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. The unions may very well jump down the Fair Commission's throat and all the rest of it, and they may get them back, but... It's just stupid. Oh, yeah, just glorious jibbing.
Yeah, well, I should imagine there would be a pretty big union backlash. Man, those things are hardcore.
Yeah, that's their point.
Yeah, I shouldn't imagine the unions, like over on it. And the unions for retailers usually got a fair bit of pull. But, yeah, it's just... I'm just constantly amazed by it. Just sickened by it.
Well, amazed and sickened.
They just keep doing this.
Because they'll do this, and then they'll give the politicians and the businesses a pay cut. But then they're like, oh no, we have to cut our spending.
Yeah, have to cut it. Well, no, and you can bet that like, they'll end up... I wouldn't mind betting that the government will cut some perks from politicians as a bit of a show of public opinion.
Yeah.
And then they'll give themselves a pay rise on the sly, because they don't have to advertise it.
No, they don't. I mean, it probably will get advertised.
Yeah.
All you would need is just one person who overheard a conversation to leak it.
Well, yeah, and apparently the Liberal government is terrible for leaks.
Yeah.
Like even
well, they're imploding at the moment.
Yeah.
A lot of people thinking that they're not conservative enough, meaning they're not dick enough.
Well, they're not. They're trying to play to both sides because it's such a close thing. And if they don't try and make themselves a little bit lefty, then they're just not going to get in on the next election.
No, they're not.
And that's why they're trying to sort of play it on both sides, but they're just...
Tony Abbott was in the news again.
Oh, God, dear God. I don't want to know what that...
He was just bad-mouthing Turnbull and...
Bad-mouthing his own party.
Yeah, bad-mouthing Turnbull and saying that the Liberal Party needs to get back to its, conservative roots and all the rest of it. Probably big-naming himself saying,
That's what I was doing.
Yeah, this, I think I would probably do a pretty good job.
That's us imitating him, if in case people that overseas don't realise.
Well, just have a look at watch
Tony
Tony Abbott's silent interview. You probably type that into YouTube and you get the interview that he's talking about, where he just sat there nodding at the camera for like a full-on minute and a half. It was weird. It was like his brain had just stopped and he was like, think of a comeback, but just couldn't. Or his earpiece stopped working, one of the two.
Yeah, that's probably my bet.
Or the other one, George Brandis trying to discuss what a website name is.
Yeah.
It's the web address, so the website name. No, the web address.
Yeah. No, we only take the web address. Right, yeah, but that is...
Yeah.
That's the website.
The roast I quite liked explained it better than the politician who was managing it did. Is that they planned on taking, and I think they did end up putting this through, which was stupid. Because we've still got this government, and I'm just going to cry. Whoopah. And it was that they can take the name of the website, but they didn't look at the website itself. But it doesn't take a genius to figure out, if you're looking at, myfetfootage.com, what you've been looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there is an easy way to hide that. You just call, you know, these fetish sites whatever you want. fluffykittens.com, that sort of stuff. But it's still, you know, an incident. And, you know, he was on the media.
Look at the sites.
Yeah, he was on media talking about this. You would think he would know what he was on about. And this man is now our Governor General. And he's been on the news again. Like the other day, he said, you know, because I was on the ABC's Q&A with, I think, Tanya Plibersek. And he said, speaking about the Centrelink debt crisis, which we've been having, which the Liberal Party's been getting into trouble because basically what they're doing is probably illegal.
Basically trying to leech money out of everybody.
Well, trying to leech money out of everyone that are on benefits, you know, the lowest of the society.
Yeah.
The people that really can't afford it, but they're quite happy to give tax breaks and, you know, extra money and handouts to patients and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, you know, their own pockets. And he said, oh, I have a problem with Centrelink. Just call up Centrelink. And everyone in the audience laughed. Every time he opens his mouth, he just shows how out of touch and stupid he is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably because most of the people in the audience have had to deal with Centrelink.
Yeah.
I guarantee
they were asking
he
questions.
never has.
Yeah. And then they had this thing where they were talking about like famous people who have been on Centrelink. Will Anderson Centrelink for a number of years, and he's now one of Australia's top comedians.
Yeah.
There was a CEO who was on Centrelink for a number of years, and now he owns like a couple of major businesses. He's like a millionaire now, and he was on Centrelink.
If you give people the break,
the help, yeah.
If you give them the help, they get there, which ties
Not
us
everyone
back
will.
around to our discussion of the universal.
Yeah. Everyone will, but most people will get, you know, do things. Like it's the same with the, like, you know, not allowing foreigners in here. The amount of foreigners that have created businesses, creating jobs is amazing. I don't know the full figures, but I remember looking at it and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But this $1 billion millionaire that owns a heap of companies was like, you know, if I didn't have Centrelink and was on Centrelink, I would have gone to crime and drugs.
Yeah.
And I would be where I am now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah.
And Will Anderson was going, you know, most people after they get off Centrelink don't want to go back on Centrelink because it's a terrible thing.
Yeah. Well, it's a terrible system.
Yeah, it should be good, but it's not.
Yeah.
Oh well, one day might get our universal income and everything will be okay.
Yeah, the universal income thing.
Because the thing is, a universal income would be good. You just, you know, make it enough income to live on, and you'll be right. And then if you want more income to be able to do more stuff, then, you know, you get work and earn a bit more. Because let's face it, after we get machines and stuff, we're not going to have enough jobs to keep up.
Well, I think we'll just make more jobs, to be honest.
I don't know.
There will always be avenues for it. Well,
I will admit,
if we play it right,
yes,
then we will.
Play it
but
right,
if we stick with the current sort of government's line of thinking, then no, we'll end up with less jobs because we won't be putting. Oh yeah, yummy. Boom. Oh, snap.
Yeah. One thing I was looking at was this documentary about this fellow was talking about technology and the advancements in technology and all this other stuff, and how we could, you know, upgrade whatever it is that the US has, that, you know, their technological hub, and we could have something very similar or better with Trump getting rid of all the foreigners, which make up a lot of that whole thing. But the problem is that, like, I had like an idea the other day, because there's that supposedly that bullet train that they were talking about that they've got in Dubai, or tested in Dubai, one or two, that can, you know, go from Sydney to Perth or something in like an hour. And imagine building that here.
Yeah.
The middle of our country is a desert, and imagine building this train that can get from Perth to Sydney in an hour. And then, you know, we've got this rail line that goes right through the middle of our country. Suddenly we've got jobs, towns surrounding this train system.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It wouldn't take much to, you know, get some greenhouses set up that can actually grow food and all the rest of it to keep the town running. Because you'd want towns there to keep the train going in case something goes wrong, you know, maintenance and stuff. Yeah. And then after you do that, you build around that town and, you know, it builds and increases and all the rest of it. You just like I'm a pretty average schlub, and yet I've got thought this through. And I'm like, what's wrong with that idea?
Yeah, and it's the same thing as Elon Musk's Hyperloop program. He only came up with the concept and then basically started a business or a fund to work on it. So he's got not much of it other than the fact that it was his idea, and you guys make it. And he's putting funding towards it and stuff. And it's a similar sort of deal, except for it's basically like a big suction tube, that they use in supermarkets to get the money to the office.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically one of those, but for transport, and goes at insane speeds, and it's got less upkeep costs and stuff because it all just works off.
Because I don't know about you, but if there was a Hyperloop or a bullet train that goes right around Australia,
yeah,
I would take that. I would not take the plane because I hate the plane.
You could get if it was literally an hour to cross the country, which is
amazing,
mind-boggling.
Because a lot of people think about England and stuff, where you can drive and you're in another county and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Here it takes hours to get even days to get between the different states and whatnot.
Yeah. Well,
people say we got a full country. We do not have a full country.
No, we don't. No. And yeah. But yeah, something like that. I mean, the infrastructure, and it's funny, but the same concept goes for even things like the NBN. That it might be a virtual space, but it's still
getting us around.
It's still getting us around the country, and you still enables businesses and innovation to evolve around that infrastructure. It's the same concept, and they just
don't get it. They want to live in their old little world.
Yeah. If they had their way, we'd still be running off steam.
Damn it. I went to press the wrong button. If I pressed the right dodge button, I would have been alright.
Yeah, so... penalty rates. Dear lordy. Like that was ever a good idea.
Just run like pieces of shit.
But and it comes back again. We've mentioned a few times that we just don't. There's not enough representation in the government of
the rest of
people,
yeah.
of the rest of life. They're all accountants and lawyers and high-end business people, and they just don't have any concept of what life is actually like.
Yeah, they all live in their own little world.
Yeah.
Because all these laws, they need to be sort of, but you could easily just pay people to do that extra good job for you.
Yeah.
We should have the Canadian government. There was a thing the other day that sort of annoyed me because we're a big fan of Justin Trudeau, or whatever the hell his name is, the Canadian Prime Minister. But he did this thing the other day where he sort of pretended that he was more clever than he is. Where he asked a reporter to ask him a question about this thing that he'd been studying all night. And then he didn't. And the reporter asked him a different question, and then he just sort of went about this computing thing anyway. And so I looked it up, and he did, and which was unfortunate. Because I went on a right-wing thing, and they sort of showed the actual video, where everyone else has been showing the edited video.
Yeah.
That makes him look clever, which is unfortunate. But the thing is, I don't really care. Because even if he is stupid or whatever, he's still in the right, he still does I agree with, and he's still in the, a good person.
That doesn't make him stupid either.
Yeah, no, he's just not as clever as he was making himself out to be.
No. But at least he was doing the research.
Well, at least he's doing everything right. The abortion laws and the marijuana and the immigration policies and all the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that country will do a lot better, despite what the right like to think. Now there was another story that I was going to bring about, because we've ranted along this for enough, and we're starting to go retread topics. Just getting rid of penalty rates was an asshole, and our government's an asshole. Blah 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 blah.
Our government's assholes. Any Australians listening? For Christ's sake,
if you vote them in again, I swear to God, I will just combust. I will self-destruct.
In a very public place.
Yes. Well,
wait a second.
Whoa. We aren't advocating terrorism here. I wanted to say I will just kill the fucker that voted for the Liberal Party, but you know I don't want people coming back here and saying he's going to kill everybody.
Yeah,
when I won't kill everyone. I'll just angrily shake my fist in their direction.
Unless all the Liberal Party voters are in one place, in which case, no.
No. Don't advertise our plans.
Damn it! I'm just no good at this.
Now the other topic was. Now this one I did actually put in thing. Don't you fucking take it.
Come on. I don't want to destroy something. Like you.
No, because this is going to be your... Don't you destroy my kill streak. Because this is going to be your rage moment.
Oh, okay.
I know it's coming.
I have a rage moment.
Pauline Hanson opposes paid parental leave as women get themselves pregnant for the money.
I can't believe anybody listens to that stupid dozy Ben.
Release it. Release the rage.
And she's like 23% support or some ridiculous shit too.
The Liberal Party just did a deal with them in Western Australia because Western Australians are voting quite a lot for nation.
Yeah, I read up on that.
Those closed-minded,
batshit crazy member that she just
closed-minded mining pieces of shit.
It's just
everything's gone fucking red. I imagine this is how looking through life through your eyes is when I mention Trump.
Pauline Hanson. Oh, fuck, just red mist. Oh my god. Alright, One Nation leader Pauline has come out against the government's current $4 billion omnibus savings bill, pointing to paid parental leave measures that she says risk abuse by parents who will have children purely to get the payments. It's paid parental leave.
Oh, someone just shot me out of... I'm sorry, let me go.
Oh my fucking god.
I am not fucking dead.
Like, yeah, how did that... Water, man. Just water.
Yeah, I know. He's from the school of
turn
the first
into
Assassin's Creed. Doesn't know how to swim.
Can't fucking swim. It's paid parental leave. They already have a job. It's parental leave. They're going back to their job. They don't make more money on paid parental leave. They make more money at their job. Oh my god. Yeah, that's just shit. It says the omnibus bill already appeared terminal with the opposition to some of its elements from Labour, the Greens and Nick Xenophon team. Senator Hanson's decision that she cannot support parts of it which feed a welfare handout mentality makes clear that the package will need to be changed to pass the Senate.
Yeah, there were a couple of things I think in that thing that were actually wrong, but the reason why Pauline Hanson is opposing it is wrong.
Yeah,
it's a good thing it won't come through, but the reason why Pauline Hanson is opposing it is just sort of showing the true colours of the thing. That, you know, even after going to prison and all the rest of it, she hasn't fucking changed.
Dear Lord. I can't even remember what she actually went to prison about.
Neither can I. Something to do with fraud.
And they still take her seriously.
Yes. This is all, even after the whole, if you are reading this, I have been murdered. She recorded a video back in the 80s or 90s, which whenever she was prominent, before either of us was born, probably so in the 80s, where she recorded this video saying that if the video was found, that she was murdered by her enemies.
Wow.
Because back in the day, she was very against Asians.
Well, anybody that wasn't white, she was just ridiculously racist.
Now it's Muslims. Back then it was Asians. That, you know, Australia's going to be overtaken by Asians.
As you can see, 14 days
now it's Australia's going to be overtaken by Muslims.
Spread is extremely wide, far greater than the hope outbreak
wow.
achieved. What we think we're seeing is this.
There was even a bloody person the other day that was saying, you know, oh, that's my drink bottle.
Prepared
I'm not
for
taking a
war with
piss.
the wrong enemy. This is something new.
I'm actually taking a piss. Oh, Salem!
No, it's so warm. Oh.
And she, like this Asian candidate that she had, was saying stuff like, you know, only good Asians will vote for one nation and will be okay. All the bad Asians won't. It's just like, oh, it just had this degree of condensation.
Oh, yeah.
Where, you know, oh, you little good little Asians, you'll vote for the right people.
I've got some quotation marks here. Here we go. They get themselves pregnant, and the government will have the same problems they did with the baby bonus, with people just doing it for the money. Again, that's bullshit because it's paid parental leave, so they already have a job, which I guarantee you pays more than parental leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how paid parental leave works.
Mind you, unless, of course, you are in a retail job now,
Yeah,
and you
at which
don't
point,
get any
yeah.
of your penalty rates. Yeah. Says this is not a common sense policy. I've gone through a bloody tough life myself as a single mother and held down a part-time job.
Blah, blah, blah,
I had
blah,
no
blah, blah.
assistance, no help from anyone, but we have such a welfare handout mentality. Well, maybe your life wouldn't have been as tough if we did have a handout.
Yeah, it's that mentality that, you know, oh, I had it tough, so everyone else must have it tough.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but if I ever decide to get over my anger and hatred of children, that I don't want them suffering the way I've had to. I want them to have an easier life. I want them to understand the easier life that they have, but I want their life to be easier. I don't want to go, I had to suffer, so you have to crawl through the mud as well. I'd rather crawl through the mud holding my child up
Yeah.
than dragging them through it with me.
Yep. Damn right. Ah, she's just a piece of shit. And yeah, and that crazy...
Hell, your child. I don't want to see him going through half the shit we've had to, and he's an annoying little shit sometimes.
Yeah, of course he is. We were all
Kids are.
annoying little shits.
Yeah, once you've had a kid, or even just looked after a kid, you sort of look at your parents and you're like, respect, man.
Respect, yeah. That's one of the key things.
Because I was well, as a little kid, I was not too bad. I mean, we were always destroying stuff. And we weren't that bad in comparison to a lot of children out there.
Oh, yeah.
I was a bit of the black sheep out of the three of us, where I was, you know, the rebellious one in my little goth stage. Where I didn't want to work no retail job, I powered as a man, I'm an artist.
Yeah, I've been there.
And while my brothers were actually, you know, out getting work and getting references and all the rest of it, which is why I had a tougher time. And you know, I should have just listened to my parents and, you know, gotten a job when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead, I knew better.
Yeah, I probably should have too. Either that or actually gone to university. I did get in. I just didn't go.
No, I'm not sure if I don't know. Anyway, I could have gotten a trade if I'd been actually interested in the future.
Yeah, people just don't, and I didn't quite comprehend
And
how
some
fast
people-
the time goes.
And along with, like, the welfare thing, it's there to be helped. When I was getting help with my employment stuff, the person who, because I said that I wanted to get off Centrelink because I was tired of being on it and I hated it, and the dude there was like, yeah, Centrelink's pretty shit, but it's there to be helped, so use it while you need it. And we need something there to help people who need help. Instead of just going, no, handing out to anyone is terrible and all the rest of it. If a few people take advantage of that, but most people get help using it, well, fucking who cares?
Yeah, and that's part of the thing that was
Because
brought
once you
to
get a
light.
job, you never want to go back on Centrelink.
Yeah, and it was, yeah, it's one of those things that was brought to light with that universal wage scheme. Was that if people do have the opportunity, if people have the assistance, then even like the 10% of people that that actually go out and do something, they actually bring the government profit. That's how much money it makes you. like it completely not only outweighs the expenditure of it, but actually brings profit back from 10%.
Yeah.
And if you've got the right kind of social mentality around it, you're gonna have a lot more than 10% contributing. I just. You got this weird. Maybe it's almost like this anti-communist mentality that still goes on. We still get this whole communism's horrible kind of stuff.
People don't like mooches, air quotes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't like to think that they're paying for something that they're not getting any benefit from.
No,
They themselves, not the whole grand scheme, not the whole future, which is why I'm not a big fan of countries in general. Because, you know, we're all living on the same fucking world.
Well, I likened the other day
that whole patriotism thing for the country, whereas, you know, is there a thing called patriotism for the world? It's not like, you know, it's not like we're, you know, living on one singular fucking rock. It's not like if the world blows up, we're going to be okay.
No, this is the only one we've got.
Oh, yeah. There was another funny article I saw the other day, because apparently there's 7 Earth-like planets that have been found, and it was like one of the, you know, the 7 Earth-like planets that have been found holding up signs saying we're full, go away.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy shit. I wouldn't blame them.
Yeah.
The way we carry on.
Fucking get rid of us.
The way I likened it the other day, I had an epiphany of, because I was raging out about dickheads overtaking me on the highway, which is a regular thing for me. I hate it when you're doing the speed limit and they just overtake you. And it's the same kind of mentality with society as well, in that people can't stand to have somebody in front of them or at the same speed as them.
They've got to be in front.
They have to be in front. So they can't just adjust their speed and stay at the same speed as everyone else. They have to get in front. And it's the same thing with a lot of people in society. They can't stomach the thought of them and everybody else having the same amount of money and access. Even if it is, everybody has plenty. Even if that is the case, no, they still want more. And I just don't understand that.
No. As long as I have enough money to live, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I like to live pretty comfortably. I've got 2 computers, I've got a 4K television. All I bought very carefully when things are on special and the cheapest thing way possible.
Most people just don't seem to have that sort of, you know...
Which is also something that I find slightly annoying with people on Central. And they do bitch about how it's not enough.
Or just people earning less, like low-income earners.
Yeah.
Low-income jobs.
And they constantly go on about it, but then these people will go cigarettes and go to the pub.
Yeah.
And I lived on... And Centrelink in this country, Centrelink is the dole is well below minimum wage. So I was on like $400 a fortnight. And I actually lived pretty comfortably off that. You know, we did alright. And
we were living in share houses and stuff.
Yeah, we were sharing rent and stuff, but that's the thing.
You know, you live within your means.
Exactly.
There's this sort of mentality in society, which is where, you know, the rich people and all the rest of it. Well, look at us, we have all this stuff. And like, I couldn't give a fuck how much stuff you have.
Yeah. And we didn't eat out, we cooked.
Or a toilet.
The phone?
Oh, it's a payphone. So that's interesting.
And we lived to our means and cooked all our own food and didn't go and eat out, didn't drink, and didn't smoke.
Yeah, like that video that
you know.
Thing you saw the other day. Oh, I don't get to go out. Well, fucking who cares?
And we were studying to be able to improve ourselves and get a job, which I did. Ended up with my longest. Yeah, actually, the whole time I still had a part-time job, even when I was on Centrelink.
Yeah.
So
cleaning houses.
I just don't understand.
Which is another thing I quite like about Kevin Rudd, because he started from humble beginnings.
Yeah.
Like, he was cleaning people's houses, rich people's houses, but cleaning houses nonetheless. Like, he was cleaning Laurie Oakes' house, I think. And then he became, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the better prime ministers we've ever had, despite whatever you think and how he was a dictator. What some people think. I think they just would go on boo-hoo because they didn't get as much say with...
Nah, I like Rudd.
Yeah, I like Rudd as well. I mean, I didn't like how he came back after stabbing Julia Gillard in the back. I think he should have just gotten over that.
No, I think he gave in to pressure from his party then. I think he should have given up on that. But I wish he just stayed in for the full term the first time.
Yeah, I've spoken about that to you before because... Oh no, not him, son of a bitch!
Well...
Where, you know, they should have just waited until the election and then just said Julia Gillard's taken over now. It was only 6 months before the election. They could have easily just waited.
Yeah.
And then they would have won in a landslide instead of having to make that minority government they had to do. They started this whole leader swapping thing.
Which the Liberals just played into. They were like, oh, they can do it, man, we can too.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why they got in, because people were sick of the Labour Party swapping leaders.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. The Labour Party stabbed themselves in the foot.
Just fuck, people.
Just fuck all of you.
Ah.
Particularly Americans and Australia and the UK.
Yeah, we just keep fucking up. There's plenty of third world countries that fuck up constantly, but we're supposed to set the bar.
Getting Trump and voting the Liberal Party. You stupid motherfuckers. Go through that thing. I'll go back to the thing, because there is a topic that I know you'll like. A little happy topic that we can talk about.
Oh, okay, am I going up or down?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I liking it already. The orange one. Someone made an NSFW Trump doll, and now they're
not safe for work Trump doll. It's a little, you know, those troll dolls.
Yeah.
And it's just this doll isn't not safe for work because it actually has genitals.
Oh, no, oh right, not safe for work. Okay, Trump troll doll, and now they're running a Kickstarter campaign to mass produce it. It is amazing and hideous. Oh.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It is terrifying. It's just this little naked trolley thing with Trump's hideous fucking pouty.
I mean, you know, it's not
meat
good. We shouldn't be
on
insulting, you know, people for their body image when their personalities are the terrible fit. It's funny.
It is. It's very funny. And it's orange.
Yeah. He can take the head off so he doesn't have a wig as well.
Wow.
That is a terrifying image. Imagine if that's what Trump looked like and he's just got like a robot body. This little dude piloting the robot form.
Dear God. Former sculptor Chuck Williams is trying to mass produce a tiny, completely nude Trump doll. Oh, I should go find that Kickstarter. He's crowdsourcing the factory costs using Kickstarter and received over 45,000.
Look at that ass.
54,000 from backers in 1 week. Wow. Williams far exceeded his original goal of 38,000, as the vinyl figures cost about $25 each to make. Sorry. The 4.75 inch wonder comes tweet ready with a miniature smartphone in hand. The project's 1,200 international backers will receive their tiny Trumps by the end of the year. Wow. That is astounding. Oh, it's hideous. Oh. I don't think I'll ever look at a troll doll the same way. Oh. But the face is just
it's
so
the face,
much
yeah.
like him. It's like it's like a.
It's terrifying.
It's hardly even caricature. It's. Wow. That is just. Big ups to mocking. That's what I like. A good, consistent mockery of the people that deserve it.
Yeah, well, that's how Britishness coming out. Particularly yours.
Wow.
I'm a filthy trout.
Yeah, well, man, if it's anywhere from England or Europe, it's all just a hodgepodge, mishmash, bullshit mixture.
Yeah.
Like,
We're currently
no one-
playing this while the child is distracted because Caleb's child is now a filthy brony.
whoa, 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 whoa. He has not reached brony status. And it was not me that introduced him to My Little Pony either.
Just picture him with the little fedora and the neck beard and the pot belly.
And a rainbow t-shirt.
Yep. With all the My Little Pony
With the
figurines
little
all
My
over
Little
the walls
Pony
and posters.
Ponytail clipped onto his belt.
And his bloody, what the rainbow ones, what's its name?
Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash body pillow.
Hey, I want one of those. Especially after what you showed me
Yeah,
last night.
I never proceeded to show Caleb a bunch of My Little Pony porn, which there is a terrifying amount of.
I made a mistake once of just scouting out, just seeing what kind of Smurf porn was out there. and
Have
the
you
whole.
shown your brother that?
I should spam him with it. My brother has a deep and unabiding hatred for
Hatred and fear.
hatred and fear of the Smurfs, which I think is probably well founded. But you know,
Oh, that's right, I can't glide in the heavy armor.
but I think the thing that gets me is not so much the rule 34 rule 34 stuff of the animated stuff, but the fact that people actually dress up as Smurfs with nappies on and
I haven't seen
painted blue and engage in hideous, unspeakable acts. Yeah, that's what gets me. Dang, son. Managed to get a strike on gold. Yeah. So anyway, that went south real quick. Oh, I didn't get to see.
People are shooting shit at me.
I'm still remembering the beautiful moment yesterday when I threw the woman and got hit by a rocket in
Oh, yeah,
midair.
that's great. I'm gonna turn that into a GIF.
Ah, yes. Yes. Do it. Find it. That was amazing.
Let's get some rocket launches here.
Have we got anything else to talk about here?
It's not quite an hour, so if we can find something to talk about, we can get the hour.
Next step, epology.
Oh, yeah, that was another thing I was looking at last night. It's fucking weird.
Let's see.
Have a read, but don't read it out, just read it. Because there's a name, and you'll know it when you see it.
Oh, okay. Alright. But you've got to keep talking to me.
Yeah, I'll talk.
Otherwise...
Because I'll talk about the topic. Because it was just people, kind of like cybernetics. People prolonging their life by injecting themselves with cybernetics and stuff. Putting little, like there's some dude on there who's been able to put a chip in that you can open his door and other things. So it's sort of the first steps in turning ourselves into cyborgs, that sort of stuff. Not even science fiction, it's like proper people talking about turning ourselves into cyborgs. And these people that had a special name, and I thought it was retarded. Because to be perfectly honest with you, I don't want to extend my life on this pitiful, pathetic rock any longer than it has to be.
I'm alright with it.
But a lot of people, I mean, I have thought about it if I had, immortality and healing, like Wolverine healing, like, I would have some fun there. But if it was just prolonging your life a bit longer, then,
Grinders? Is that the term you're referring to?
That was one of them, yes, but not the name that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But that's what they call themselves, grinders.
Yeah, so we've got transhumanists,
Which isn't,
biohackers, and grinders.
Yeah, which isn't, the dating website or people
Yeah, but that's
that like
what
to
I
grind.
thought when I saw it. I was like, okay, if you really want to
Grinders.
advertise that.
People like to use Grinder. Yeah, I like to use Grinder. It's a good way to find doggers. Which for our international viewers is a term used by Britons for people that have public sex.
Peter Jackson.
No, that's not it.
No, I know, but that's just a weird. That's a,
Yeah,
anyway.
there's a few of them here. But you'll see it. You'll know it when you see it. And yeah, I know talking about these little implants that they can use to prolong people's lives and stuff. But that's just another thing where, you know, do you really... We already have a job shortage as it is. People living longer. Are we gonna, you know,
well, that's
still
why
having kids and stuff?
That's why we're going to colonize Mars, man, so we can just keep going.
Yeah, well, that was another thing they were talking about, is using implants to help be able to survive the long trip to space.
The implants
or through space.
aren't going to do shit. If you're going to do that, you need genetics. You need to start genetically modifying people.
One woman reckoned that she'd been able to increase the telomeres in her DNA to allow her to live a bit longer. A lot of the scientists were calling bullshit.
Yeah,
she said.
I call bullshit. But hey, maybe she'll have a placebo effect.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, a lot of people seem to think that, you know, a branding and some chocolate would give you some long life. Oh, shit. Got saved by a flying tank. I can't believe you haven't... Oh, I suppose you're a slow reader.
Shut up.
Even by my standards.
Yeah. I really should get my mad glasses. Again.
Did you already get those fixed? I'm
Hey?
sure I was with you when you got them
No, they were
fixed.
sunglasses, motherfucker.
Oh,
I've got
those
reading.
with prescription sunglasses.
Yeah, prescription sunglasses. I don't have my
Ooh, shit.
Olin lenses.
A dodge. Like a missile there. Ooh. Get back. Get over here. There we
that's
go.
what I think.
That's the fella. Read his name below the picture.
Meow Ludo Meow Meow.
That's his actual name, changed by Depol. Depol.
Meow Ludo Meow Meow is microchipped.
Yeah, just that phrase, meow, whatever meow meow has been microchipped. It's like, so a cat's been microchipped.
Yeah,
What?
who cares?
But no, that's
no.
him. That's his name. That's that dude's name.
That's
Already, that doesn't leave a lot of like,
credibility.
yeah, give a lot of weight to the argument they're trying to make. The grinder named Meow Meow Meow.
Like Meow Ludo Meow Meow. Now look Meow.
Now look, Mr. Meow Meow.
Yeah.
Away from that dragon!
Oh, what did they do?
Ah, wow.
Run away from it!
Mr. Meow Meow.
Where will make a fire?
Now look Meow.
Mr. Meow, we've told you about this.
Let's visit him in these
Alright, well I think we're about an hour now.
Yeah, so that'll do. We got a child to deal with, so catch you fools later.